Well, about 5 years ago, when Aura Rosser was killed by a police officer, my former colleague Sumi Kailasapathy and I approached the Human Rights Commission and asked them to advise us on setting up a civilian oversight commission to oversee our police department. We wanted to add some credibility to internal investigations of police conduct so that the community would trust the end result of an investigation. The Human Rights Commission did just a fabulous job of producing a report on the various forms of independent civilian oversight that exist throughout the country. There was considerable pushback from staff and from other members of council at the time, but we pushed forward, and after some delay, we formed a task force to advise City Council on how we should construct an oversight commission. We gave the task force an enormous task to take upon themselves and a short timeline to accomplish it. And what they did was they actually wrote a proposed ordinance to authorize the formation of a police oversight commission and to describe the authority of that commission. Again, we ran into pushback from staff and other members of council, but Sumi and I brought it forward in the form that it was proposed by the task force, because we thought that should be the beginning point. Typically, if you bring something forward, others on council will offer amendments and you'll hammer out your differences and the compromise will be the end product. In this case, oddly, rather than amend the proposed ordinance, others offered a separate ordinance that was kind of like what the task force had asked for, but had been watered down in the form that staff had suggested. And so we had two competing ordinances on the same agenda, and the task force ordinance was disposed of rather quickly, and all of the discussion revolved around the watered down version. I supported the eventual adoption of that ordinance because I knew that if we had an oversight commission, at some point in time they would come back to council and tell us the improvements that they needed in both their authority and in the structure of the ordinance. And that's what's happened recently. The national outcry for police reform has returned our attention to the need for more meaningful and empowered oversight of our police department. And so here we are again, talking about how we empower our Police Oversight Commission. Again, I'm proud to be working with others to facilitate those improvements. And I'll continue to do that until the Oversight Commission has the powers it thinks it needs, and until the community at large has trust in the activities of that commission.